As a soldier, you are trained in multiple disciplines. This means you can deal with any situation, anywhere, at any time when it happens on the ground. A successful police operation, just like in the military, begins like a jigsaw puzzle. You start with one small piece, then it takes all the skills of the team on the ground to find the remaining pieces and make the picture whole. In Manchester, the police are about to embark on a large-scale operation to find the missing pieces in an illegal drug importation case, the outcome of which has big implications both for the community and the whole of the UK. Okay, this morning we're with the Greater Manchester Police. We're going to be striking in a number of addresses. We're going to go in short, sharp. The doors are going down. Stand by. Detective Inspector James Coles is running the op and has invited me along to learn about the intelligence they've received so far. Morning, James.
Morning, mate.
Good to see you, mate. So, what are we rolling with today, mate?
We've got a number of warrants that are executing in the Greater Manchester area. It's part of Operation Advice, which is a proactive drugs operation. We've done some surveillance and proactive tactics around an organised crime group, importing Class A drugs into the UK through normal delivery networks such as, DHL, Royal Mail, etc. We've seen methamphetamine, that as a kind of liquid brought in the UK in prime bottles, which is a kid's drink, obviously. So that's the concern. So this individual we're going for today, we believe he's involved in this conspiracy to import Class A. This is the guy here that we're going to be locking up, and we've got a picture of some of the drugs that have been imported. So this was the cannabis that he was found with,
right?
And then we have the photographs of the prime bottles that we intercepted with the methamphetamine.
Smuggling a highly dangerous drug in soft drink bottles is not only illegal, it's deadly for any unsuspecting person who consumes it. I'm keen to find out who's behind this lethal racket. So do you know much about these people? Have you been tailing them for a while, or?
Yeah, so these part of like a wider operation. We've already made some arrests late last night. We've got one individual that we did some enforcement on earlier last year, and we identified from his phone a number of individuals in the network, and that's who we're going to get today. There has been some other surveillance deployments in and around this operation. It was quite a rapid, quick time.
So is that a simultaneous strike?
Yeah, so we're doing all the strikes at the same time. So we've got 2 subjects today,
yep.
3 addresses.
Cool. Very much similar to strikes we do,
Yep.
A complete covert approach and a rapid strike onto target.
Yeah, hopefully we'll find something today as well. It always adds extra evidence, any kind of drugs, any criminal commodity,
yep.
Any extra mobile phones. That'll always be of value to the investigation.
Happy hunting, mate. Let's go get
Good stuff. Let's do it.
In this case, the police already have enough intel for an arrest, but a thorough search for evidence is still a top priority. Officers will be after the spoils of organised crime, such as large amounts of cash, along with high-value items like cars, property and jewellery that could have been bought from their ill-gotten gains.
Have you done the recce of the door at the moment?
Not in person, no. I've had a look on Google.
Yeah.
What's that UPV to the door?
Happy days.
They've got a lock snapping kit just in case.
Right,
so you're going straight for an enforcer, are you?
Yeah, we'll do, yeah.
So we've got taser, right, happy days. We get our body cams on, that's great stuff. Your challenger team are just doing one address, aren't they? So Syndicate 1 are doing one address. So wherever you guys are, I know we're in the right place. Right, happy days, good stuff. You've got backup, haven't you, for your method of entry? You've got some...
Yeah, there's some treks and there's another lad as well meeting us there.
Right, nice one. Good stuff, right, should we go?
Ready?
Happy days, thanks very much.
Okay, so we've had the last bit of intelligence, so now the MOE team are ready. It looks like it's going to be a forced entry. Should be pretty rapid. Hit the target, shock or capture in, detain everybody, and then straight into the search. Okay, let's roll. So again, with these surprise strikes, that then builds your network. Then, like you say, you've got associated people which you didn't know were involved. Then obviously from what you get off this raid, will indicate or indict them.
Yeah, absolutely. We build that picture, and sometimes we get to go upstream by identifying these individuals. Sometimes you'll see that the lifestyle is unbelievable, that the money that they have cash-wise is excessive, and sometimes you see them operating hand over fist in terms of the amount of volume of drugs they're selling, but they don't have anything to show for it.
DI Coles and his team are hopeful that today's operation will deal a significant blow to an organised crime gang and their supply chain.
2 minutes out.
It's prep for action, 2 minutes to target, and then strike.
Team 4 in position.
So we're now just arriving at the forming up point.
All teams now in position.
All teams stay amber, strike, strike, strike. All teams stay amber, strike, strike, strike.
Let's go. Right, that's the teams now rolling into position. So this is the target building. That's the MOE team moving to target.
Come on, mate. Go on, go.
Okay, so the MOE's clearance now, going, stand by.
Clear! Go on, mate. Just trying to search for any weapons.
So clean entry, detain suspects upstairs, and then we'll be brought down for further questioning in here. The shock of entry has had a desired effect on the suspect.
Yeah.
Since being detained, he's remained calm and cooperative. You've been done for drugs before, mate, have you? You've not? So why are you involved in it now?
I'm not involved in no drugs.
You know why you're being arrested, right? It remains to be seen if he maintains his innocence when faced with police evidence. The suspect has been formally arrested, and now the second stage of this operation is put in motion. The police have already previously seized the gang's imported drugs. The focus now is searching for evidence that can help prove large-scale drug distribution. So, happy with the method of entry and what we've got so far?
So the door went in nice and quick, as you saw. We got the subject under control, the handcuffs, brought him down. We get him some clothes on, get a van, get him out of here as soon as we can.
So the suspect we've got now is the identified...
He's identified, he's the one that we wanted, yes. He's been arrested for importation of Class A. So he's got an address that's controlled down the street.
Yeah. At the suspect's second property, a search team are already gaining access. The house is believed to be unoccupied, so their method of entry is more subtle this time around.
So what I've done is I've authorised Section 18 house search, which an inspector can authorise, which means that we can go and search that now, because obviously he could have a criminal commodity here, or he could have it at his other address.
The intel is the address is used for backing up and possibly storing it. It has got access to it, and it has had access to it recently, so we'll still have to do a decent search.
This approach needs military precision. You follow all leads in real time and leave no stone unturned. Back at the first property, James receives word about the second strike that took place simultaneously in another part of Manchester.
Yep, subject arrested.
Received, thank you. We've got a successful strike, I believe, at the other address that are...
The simultaneous address.
Simultaneous
okay,
address,
so that's gone in as well. And again, a result. So that's 2 arrests so far.
2 arrests, exactly. That's two arrests, 2 warrants. That's what we're going for, so happy days, yeah.
That's 2 arrests and 3 properties locked down. The operation so far is a success. He's now going to be brought out, taken in the van and back to custody.
Yeah, so we've got some clothes for him now, got some trainers for him, so we'll keep him in handcuffs until he gets to custody, and then we'll go through there, and hopefully at some point in the early hours of tomorrow morning we'll be getting a charge and remand decision.
Who's this? Hey!
Bit of a morning shock for you, isn't it?
It is, mate.
It is, eh? Rude awakening. So that's him now in the back of the van and off to custody for the next phase, the result. With the suspect out of the way, the operation moves into phase 3, search and accumulate. The pressure's on to get as much evidence as possible bagged and tagged, so it can be used in the custody interview later today.
There's kind of procedure for searching areas, so what it'll do is it'll zone off the areas of the building, which makes sure that anything we find is fully documented where it's found, but also it means that we're not missing anything, and there'll be officers deployed to each room. And once all that's done manually, then we'll put a dog through it, and the dog will be looking for cash, firearms, and obviously drugs, yeah, absolutely.
As a dog owner myself, I'm always happy to see these intelligent creatures on the front line. The search continues at pace, and the teams are on the lookout for high-value items and large amounts of cash. Key evidence that point to an individual living beyond their legal means.
Right, just a bit of a sit rep from the OB, the sergeant's coordinating the search. So one of the things we've identified is all the vehicle keys that are in the premises. There's probably about half a dozen or so. Audis, German high-powered cars. So the strategy is anyone that finds a vehicle key, bring it down to the sergeant and we'll get them all lined out. No cash yet, some rupees, but not a significant amount at all. £10, £15 worth, a couple of mobile phones.
So they do the dirty work elsewhere and live quite happily in affluent
Absolutely,
location.
and drugs aren't the way he operates, the way he lives his life in terms of his downtime, but criminally, that appears to be his business.
In cases like this, multiple properties and access to high-end cars are an immediate red flag. With all the car keys now collected, it's a case of matching the key with the car.
Yeah, right, so we've got that one. So we keep that. Right, up and down, I've got a BM there, I've got a couple of BM keys.
From bunches of keys that they found inside the building, there's a number of associated vehicles, and each one individually will be searched thoroughly. So as you can see, these guys are thorough. Nothing is going to be missed. From the bunches of keys that have been found at the location, one has identified a target vehicle right opposite the second address that was searched. That was the dry hole. The fact that this vehicle is linked to the empty property is of immediate interest to DI calls.
It's only vehicle that's registered to his address, appears to be used as a taxi. There's some Uber plates in the back of the car, so we're not sure about that. That might be a legitimate income, but cash, rich businesses such as taxi driving that are like private hire stuff, they're good ways of laundering money if you've also got another enterprise of what we suspect to be drug dealing. So we have to look at all avenues, and this may be what he uses to mask his income.
Got you. The network is widening. More pieces of the puzzle and more questions for the suspect to answer. But right now, it's back to the first property where a significant discovery has been made.
Happy days, what we've got there, sorry.
Some cash.
Yeah, nice one.
So obviously he's done those instantly correctly.
Right, brilliant. Still over £1,000.
Bingo! I don't know about you, but personally, I don't keep envelopes of cash dotted around my house. And it isn't long before more cash like this is found.
About 2k.
That's all right, yeah.
2 different locations.
Yeah, we can still bring that together. That's fine.
They're double bagging it.
Yeah, happy days.
So one's with it's uncounted.
Yeah.
But we'll get it seized.
Yeah, happy days.
And then we're just doing the vehicles now.
Yeah, we'll seize that under POCA, that money. So under our legislation, anything over £1,000, we suspect to be £1,000, we can seize. Can they account for it? They may be able to, but if they can't, under a civil burden of proof, we'll have that money.
After months of investigation, intel gathering and arrest, this operation is drawing to a close.
Dog's just finishing off upstairs. We're going to have to, we've basically secured the whole area. It's all sterile. Dog's just going through. He's not indicating anything at the moment. We're going to nearly wrap it up. We've got 2 phones. We've obviously got about £5,000 in cash. We've got evidence to suggest that he's at another premises where he registered a business to. We've got about a dozen so keys for vehicles. All indicates some kind of layering, some kind of criminality, some kind of money laundering. But he has been a good warrant. The other address has been a good warrant. So I'm really happy.
Simultaneous strikes executed with military precision, just like in the SES. Going hard and keep going until you have all the pieces needed to solve the puzzle. So that's another job well done, a great arrest. Stand by. Tackling organised crime requires piecing together a complex web of criminality. But if you follow the money, you'll often find the source of that crime. Simple and direct comms are key components in every soldier's toolkit. And when a rural community come together to use comms to combat crime, the results can be surprising. A far cry from the urban jungle of London, East Anglia is home to acres of farmland. And it's also the place where a really simple strategy for reporting evidence has had a massive impact on rural crime victims.
My name's Freya and I'm a farmer in East Anglia. Hello. I've been farming all my life. I grew up on farms and I've got another generation coming up behind me. The thing I love about farming is working in the elements outside, the variety of work, no 2 days are the same, and I just love the challenge.
Like many in the area, Freya's farm is a family business, and a farmer's life is all she's ever known.
This is our family farm. We have been here in this village since the late 60s. My father started off with 2 pigs and then became a tenant on the farm here. Growing up on a farm, I followed my father around from the age of 2.
But the farming went high-tech. The cost of gear went through the barn roof, and suddenly criminals had eyes on farms like Freya's.
We've been sort of facing petty crime for quite a number of years, but over the last 10 years, rural crime has increased significantly and the type of crime has changed. Machinery gets stolen as ATVs and quad bikes are easy targets to steal. Trailer thefts, this is often organised crime, stolen and taken out of the country. And it's stress. Everything's locked away at night. You have keys on all gates, padlocks. It's our home, it's our place of work and you don't feel secure. The farming industry is really struggling at the moment and this is just another pressure that goes on to farmers and people living and working in the rural communities.
And it's not the only problem she's facing.
Another crime that we actually get quite a lot of around here is hare coursing.
Hare coursing sets 2 running dogs onto a hare. The dogs compete and are judged by how closely they can follow the twists and turns of the hare as it tries to escape, and they try to catch and kill it. The dogs are competing and gambling is often involved. It's illegal and cruel and strikes fear into animals and farmers.
Hare coursing over the years has become a bigger and bigger issue to us as farmers. I'd be walking across a field, checking the crop coming through. I'd go over the brow of a hill and then I'd be confronted by a group of hare coursers walking on foot with their dogs coursing. And that's actually quite scaring, A, being a female and being on your own.
Freya decided she could do something. In the SES, we think about how to put enemies on the back foot, and Freya realised that she and her fellow farmers could do the same by gathering intel and acting on it.
I have fought back against the criminals, so we now have a WhatsApp group and we communicate with each other if a crime's going on or if there's any photographic evidence. It all gets put on there and everybody encourages everybody to report it.
These are just some of the photos taken by members of Freya's WhatsApp group. They show damage to property and illegal hare coursing, and they're vital evidence.
Also, on our WhatsApp group is linked to the police, so if the police are on duty, they will see that activity.
And when there's so much land to cover, the police have upped their game too.
This size field, it's a very large field. It's got crossings across the ditches, and it's an ideal area for people to come coursing and chasing hares. Here they've got good visibility and they'll get a good long chase.
But guess what? It's also good for drones. Just like the cutting-edge technology we use in the SAS, rural police crime units are now using drones and thermal imaging to track criminals and catch them in the act.
We have the ability to put the drone up and cover vast areas of land with limited numbers of officers. Local farmers now have the ability to make use of their own drones to pass information over to Warwickshire Police that they've obtained. Ultimately, drones allow us to cover more ground and do a better job in looking after the rural communities.
Our local police force are taking rural crime very seriously and we work quite closely with them. There is intelligence work going on as to finding this equipment. The police forces actually all now work together. When you're working in a rural area, you all know each other and everybody works together. If something happens, you all go and help each other out. It's all about communication.
Improved powers and tougher sentencing have helped crack down on illegal coursing. In the first 6 months of 2023, 573 incidents were reported and 32 arrests were made, which was an increase of 400% on previous years. It's good to see farmers and police working together in this way to tackle rural crime.
For every theft, there's a victim. And sometimes when something gets taken, it can never be replaced.
For Naomi and her family, this tragic tale highlights a very common problem. Her son Callum was a proud owner of a sporty hatchback, keyless, top spec, and for safety fitted with a crook lock.
He did overtime every day of the week to afford that car, and he was really proud of himself, and he had a list of the things he wanted. So he wanted these special wheels and the panoramic sunroof. Every single thing on his checklist for that Golf was on that car. It was his pride and joy.
But Callum had another reason to worship this car. He bought it partly in memory of his younger brother, Jamie.
We lost Jamie New Year 2022 to a cardiac arrest. He was car mad, same as Callum. They just loved them. So when Callum obviously lost his brother, I think part of the reason he bought that Golf and he saved so hard for that Golf was because he knows that that's the car that Jamie would have wanted. He'd said to me, you know, how would you feel about me having Jamie with me in the car, having some of his ashes with me in the car? And well, obviously, once I stopped crying at the thought of him even saying that, I thought, what a lovely idea. I think he just felt a little bit of comfort from that.
But in February last year, a gang of thieves turned their lives upside down once more.
It was just a normal night. We were all in bed. Callum got up for work 4:45 as normal. And I heard him open the front door. He then shouted up the stairs, "My car's gone." I jumped out of bed, obviously, so did my husband. Came running down the stairs, and Callum was just devastated at the front door. He was just standing with his head in his hands, and I could just see the colour had drained out of his face. The first thing that went through his head was that his brother's ashes were missing.
Naomi quickly checked the CCTV footage from their doorbell and made a devastating discovery.
The car's there at 10:04, and Callum had got up at 10:05, so there was literally an hour missing. And then we quickly realised that the doorbell had been turned off, and we found out the next day from the police that these criminals have the technology to be able to take your Wi-Fi down, and they'd got the technology to start the car.
Naomi decided to use technology herself and turn detective.
We went round every single house on the estate. We managed to retrieve all the CCTV, and these were really clear images of these two men walking up and down the street, basically clocking the cars. We'd seen that they'd approached our driveway from our other neighbour's driveway so that they wouldn't have been clocked before they took the Wi-Fi down. I mean, it was almost so clever the way they'd done it, and I hate the fact that I have to call them clever by saying that, but it was so clever how they'd sort of calculated it.
Naomi thought the ordeal was over, but just 24 hours later, her family had a terrifying experience.
My phone went off about 4 o'clock in the morning, the sound of my doorbell. As I picked up my mobile phone on my bedside table, I could see the criminal's face on my phone. There was a mask, grey hood up, and he was kind of leaning over, bent towards my front door. So I quickly shouted to my husband, "Wake up, they're back, they've come back." So my husband shot down the stairs. I shouted for Callum, and he quickly jumped out of bed and shot down the stairs as well. And I noticed that there was like a nappy sack bag on my doorstep, a blue bag. And when I looked a little bit closer, I could see that there was a very sentimental box was in the bag that had contained some of our other son's ashes.
Naomi called the police immediately, who told her not to touch it until they arrived.
The sergeant came out to take a statement, and he also came out to pick up the evidence that had been left on the doorstep. The police opened the bag when they were here, and the box that had contained Jamie's ashes was empty. Which we can imagine was just even more devastating for Callum. The people that believe that car theft is a victimless crime because the only people that pay are the insurance company, they truly haven't got a clue what actually goes through you when your car is stolen, especially when there's something in it that, yes, all right, we shouldn't leave stuff in our cars overnight, but show me one person that doesn't have something left in their car overnight.
The thieves are still at large and the car was never found. But despite all they have been through, Naomi's determined not to let them win. And one way she's fighting back is through a foundation she set up in Jamie's name to raise money for defibrillators in the local community.
You have to draw some sort of positive, and Jamie was the most positive person in the world, and he wouldn't let us be angry. So we go back to looking after his foundation and working hard to make sure that more lives are saved, because that's what he was meant to do and that's his legacy.
In the military, I've worked with guys with multiple skill sets. Demolitions, communications, medical, mountaineers. And if one thing I've learned is knowing when to call in those skill sets at a time when they are required.
I'm about to hit the road with Northampton's road policing unit. I've spent a lot of time in cars, doing evasive driving, intercept driving, and sometimes just trying to stay alive. Tonight, let's see. I'm here to meet Bomber Bayliss for a night shift. In the SAS, we train in tactical driving, but for the roads policing team, it's a way of life. The shift here starts with an intelligence briefing, given by an officer who is out doing surveillance. That's why it's happening online.
Things of interest then, so the first one is Silver Box Lasher, which is linked to the theft of Range Rovers. It's no current keeper, but insured to a chap from basically what they've been doing is they've been going out, it's in loose convoy to the area, still in the Range Rover, taking them to locations. One from yesterday went to Catherine, it was parked up, they then stole some plates later on in the evening, about 6:30ish at night.
Intelligence has identified a priority for Bomber and the team. Find the silver Vauxhall Astra that's being used by a suspected gang of luxury car thieves. They steal Range Rovers that are popular in Russia and then they whisk them out of the country. So that's the night shift briefing taking place right now. The surveillance teams are still on the ground. So everything's based on intel and surveillance, just like it would be in the regiment. Intel comes in, it's all live, it's all being passed on. As soon as vehicles of interest come into their area of responsibility, just like we would, they'll intercept it, interdict it, and deal with it. Time to hit the road with Bomber and hunt down the Astra. We'll be riding covert in an unmarked car the suspects won't spot. And the roads team are being kept busy. So, Bomber, I mean, on your everyday night shift, I know nothing's ever routine, but if you was to say there's something more routine at the moment, what would that be?
There is a bit of a pattern, but certainly the lorry thefts are a major issue for us. Yeah. We have a lot of logistical bases, warehousing units in this county around here, mainly because we're in the middle of the country. Yeah. So a lot of the lorries that are arriving from Europe or even from elsewhere around the country, they might park up nearby and they effectively become soft targets.
Tonight, we're looking for suspected car thieves, but Bomber wants to show me the theft risk to lorries too.
This is a truck stop that
wow, look at this.
Has been targeted before. I mean, you can just see the number of vehicles that are here, and that's a really good example. Plain trailer, curtain sider, they don't know what's in that, but a quick cut, a little look, and effectively what they do is they park their lorry into that gap. So once they've made a little cut, they'll have a little look, and then when they actually come to the job, they just Stanley knife the whole thing.
criminals will then steal a lorry's load and disappear in their own truck to sell off what they've stolen. But tonight, the only vehicle in trouble is a broken down car nearby.
Are you okay? Let me turn around, I'll come and help you. She's broken down. Then I'll go and have a chat with her.
We've got a young lady that's got a bit of an issue, broken down, and shown their hearts and minds that are out there supporting the community.
Turns out, it's just a flat. The hunt for stolen cars and lorry robbers will have to wait.
Ah, smashing, thanks. How long you had the car?
Just stole it.
I was trained as a tactical driver in the SAS, learning how to respond to threats and escape in a vehicle. I didn't expect to be changing a tyre outside a lorry park in Northampton.
Improvise, adapt, overcome and all that stuff. Is that up enough? All in a day's work.
Right, you're all good. No problem?
Maybe tonight is going to be a quiet night, but whenever I thought that on an armoured patrol, things were about to get very busy. I'm out on patrol with Bomber Bayliss of Northampton Police, and we've got a call to attend to. There's a report of a runaway car up ahead, and automatic number plate recognition cameras, ANPR, have helped to spot it.
So we've had a report of another failed to stop vehicle, so we're quickly switching and heading towards that direction right now.
It's not the Range Rover car thieves we're after, but there's a report of a red car being involved in a collision and then failing to stop. And a police camera has spotted a similar vehicle.
We know it's a Golf, we know it's red. The ANPR system, even though it reads number plates, it will read everything that goes through it as well. So there's a car and it's gone through, it's got no number plate on it. And from the shape of the headlamps, they've put it down to being a Golf of the right age group.
Right.
So we've got a bit of a target area. We're going to go and have a look around there.
Live information and coordination are vital when you're out in the field. We now know roughly where the red car might be driving around, and there's a surprising update from the team's control room.
In relation to that failed to stop Golf, the driver of said vehicle is now ringing up to report his car stolen. Apparently, they go for a test drive, as you would, 10 at night. He then goes for a test drive and it has been reserved.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That old chestnut.
We start a search for the allegedly stolen red car. Then, an update comes in.
One of my colleagues has found it.
That's great.
And he's got loads of damage, so we'll go and join him.
Yeah.
This is the car.
Oh dear. Yeah.
So he's let him go with all this gear as well in the back of the car just for a test drive. I mean, what's he... He actually does think we're stupid, doesn't he?
Just up the road, police have found the owner himself, who claims he's out looking for his car. Police are suspicious of his story, that someone else was test driving it in the middle of the night, and my instincts tell me they're right.
What time did this gentleman approach you, and where did he approach you? Did he approach you directly outside your address?
When I was working on the vehicle, yes. He
approached you?
Yeah.
All right.
If there was CCTV there, you're more than welcome to have a look at that. And
You've seen him before?
I've seen him before, yes.
You don't have his contact detail?
No.
Did you not make a note of his surname?
No, it was started with Kanzu, something like that.
Someone was going to buy your vehicle and potentially take it away. You told me it's worth £4,000.
I've
I
done
think
it.
it'd be sensible to take their details from them.
He showed me that he's got proof of insurance, he showed me that he's got funds in the bank. So I said, okay, yeah, you're more than welcome to take it for a test drive. I've spoken to you before. He's taking it for a test drive.
I think it's time to turn up the pressure on this guy.
How did the guy know you were selling the car?
For sale sign on the window.
And where was that?
Right hand side there. Roughly about here.
Well, he just happened to be walking past and said,
I've spoken to him before. I don't know if he's local or not.
Mate, don't be so stupid.
No, I'm not stupid, mate. I'm telling you how it is. I wouldn't have told you.
All right, don't act stupid.
I'm not acting stupid. I'm honestly not acting stupid.
How come you were out walking about when you reported it to us? Did you not go back and think it'd be a good idea to go back inside?
I called the police, right.
Why were you walking out and about?
Trying to look for the car. I called the police and I was on the phone to the police. I reported the accident and then I said to the woman I was walking around to report it.
What accident?
The vehicle was stolen.
You said accident, mate.
Yeah, reported the accident. It is an accident, isn't it?
No, it's not an accident, mate.
Mate.
It isn't going very well, is it, mate?
Mate, I've reported...
What accident?
That the vehicle was
There's a
stolen.
distinct difference between a car being stolen and using the word accident. It's not looking too good.
Honestly, I've reported...
Honestly, there's no honesty.
Sorry, incident, my bad.
There's nothing honest about this, mate.
In the SAS, I've had to question suspects in the most serious of circumstances, and the experience often makes people give the game away. I think that's what's just happened here.
You've already mentioned accident, mate. No one else
I meant
moved.
incident, not accident.
You know, listen, mate.
It is an incident. That's what I meant. Reported an incident, right? Not accident. The car was literally... I would not call and report the car was stolen.
Of course you wouldn't.
I don't believe him, and neither do the police.
I don't believe what you're telling us at the moment. If it transpires on a later date there's evidence to suggest your car was stolen, then of course we'll investigate it, but I don't believe a word that you're telling me. What we're going to do as well is we're going to send you a name the driver form, which is a lawful request for you to name the driver details of the person that was driving it at the time. Failure to produce those details will render you liable to prosecution.
Okay.
See you later.
Thank you.
The bloke may just have got himself a 6-point penalty and a £1,000 fine. But whilst we're dealing with this guy, a call comes in. The car we were first looking for, the silver Astra, robbing high-value cars, has been spotted. I'm out with Northampton's Specialist Road Policing Unit. We've changed the tyre and dealt with a suspected identity fraud, but the team are looking to hunt down high-value car thieves, and they've just been spotted.
At the start of the night, we were given a number of vehicles of interest, and the primary vehicle was a silver Astra, which has now just been triggered through a number of cameras, and that is now mobile. So we're hopefully going to go intercept and see what's going on with that. It's going to be good.
Bomber puts his foot down. This specialised pursuit vehicle can do over 150 miles an hour.
Our tactical plan is to get it stung, so effectively they lose control of the car, it will slow it down.
The team want to deploy a Stinger, a spiked tyre bursting device. But before they can do that, we need to get behind the target vehicle. This marked police car is following, just behind the suspect's car. Bomber wants them to tail off now, so as not to give the game away.
Romeo Papa 6-4, I'm with you, Dom. Yeah, roger.
Nice.
The marked car peels off, and the suspects probably breathe a sigh of relief.
So this is our target vehicle ahead.
That's us now closing on the suspect vehicle, which we're absolutely unaware where he is. It's unmarked.
Vehicle's taking the third off the roundabout, A425 towards Daventry Centre, really. Not one. Indicated, taking the second, still A425.
So what's the plan from now?
So we're going to basically, hopefully, swoop on it without it knowing that we're even there.
Just like in the SAS, the roads policing team hunt in packs. So Bomber's location updates are going to another team member on the road ahead, who's just looking for the right spot to deploy that Stinger.
Stand by, you got a Stinger sight on the van to your near side coming up.
So what we've got now is a vehicle in front with a Stinger ready to burst the tyres of the vehicle.
Vehicle stand!
That's a vehicle taken down.
Vehicle stopping.
Stop.
I'm just going to take his nose off.
Their car is stopped and Bomber blocks their escape route.
Show me your hands! Out the car, now! Get out!
Out the car! Out the car!
Out!
There's one of the suspects.
All occupants been detained.
And a second. All down to military-style teamwork.
You okay? So listen to what I'm going to say to you. So at this moment in time, you're under arrest on suspicion of a conspiracy to commit theft. Do you understand that? Yeah? Stand up.
These guys are believed to be smart crooks who steal luxury Range Rovers. I bet they won't drop themselves in it like the last bloke.
Where have you been? You've been to London? You come from London tonight? You did?
Silence. But what's in the car?
An amount of cash.
Right.
But we seize it, we put an estimate on it. I reckon it's probably just about $1,000, if not a little bit more there.
Yeah.
So we'll seize that.
Can this guy explain it?
A lot of money, huh?
What?
A lot of money.
Money?
Money?
Money to me.
Money, dude?
A lot of money, huh? Yeah? Yours?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Sorry?
What work?
Work is Amazon.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Pay good, huh?
Yeah.
Can I get a job? And they pay you all that money? I think you may lie a little bit, maybe? Cheeky little lie? Yeah, I think you do understand. I think you understand.
With 2 in custody and cash seized, police can launch their investigation properly. Are these 2 men behind a string of car thefts? Bomber plans to find out.
2 in custody for high-value burglaries and recovered a quantity of cash and other items that link them to this job. So all in all, it couldn't have gone better, really.
I love that the team took a smart tactical approach to catching their suspects, and it's brought them the result they wanted.
So there you see, great combination of surveillance, teamwork, great night, and a great result. Teamwork, check. Use of technology, check. Tactical attack, check. Targets taken down, check. A perfect military approach to the night shift.